Hello everyone, this is Carbonomics. Abaxx Technologies had a press release yesterday indicating that the company is making progress on one of the last key milestones they need to hit before seeing the commercial launch of their new commodity futures exchange and clearinghouse in Singapore. Yet as you can see, the market was not exactly pleased with this news, trading down most of the day only to break even in the final trading hour. And by the way, if you know nothing about Abaxx Technologies yet, I'd recommend watching some of my other videos on the company first to understand what this company is all about. And I'll link a playlist to those in the description below. Now, why was Abaxx trading poorly yesterday? Because of unrealistic investor expectations and impatience, in my view. Some of it certainly warranted, and some of it not. The 100-day readiness plan being one example of that, and it certainly seems to have caused people to become quite anxious. There's all this speculation going on around Twitter and CEO.ca. People are stalking the CEO, Josh Crumb's feed on Twitter to see if he liked a tweet. So, maybe this is a clue to this, or there's some new random information over here if you read between the lines. Let's just give it a rest. Let's collect ourselves. Having an overactive mind or constantly checking for new information is not healthy. And that's not how long-term investing should be done, my view anyway. And this is the behavior of short-term thinkers. So what did the press release say? That the company is engaging in negotiations with multiple firms to sell off a percentage of the equity in the commodity exchange in return for regulatory capital and the incentivization of participation of market participants on the exchange. So, exactly what investors were expecting the company to do around this time. Just not as fast as the market has wanted so far. And, even better, Abaxx is preparing to uplist in the US around launch, likely to the NASDAQ. So the company is making steady progress on developing the exchange and other commodities besides LNG, seemingly close to receiving the funding we need as a prerequisite for exchange launch and going to uplist in the US, which we didn't even expect to see until later on. This all sounds like positives to me. But people are holding this company to imaginary deadlines the company didn't even set in the first place. I know not everyone thought this, but it definitely seems like some investors thought the 100-day readiness plan was for exchange launch, and it was not. It was just for Abaxx's internal systems to be ready at this time, which they are close to. But at the end of the day, worrying about what progress is being made or stalking the CEO on Twitter is not going to get the commodity exchange launched any faster. And if you're investing in Abaxx now, or you have been invested in Abaxx for some time, you know damn well that this company has missed plenty of deadlines. Mainly on processes, actually almost entirely on processes outside of the company's control. Entering partnerships with large LNG or other commodity trading firms to take ownership in the exchange, onboarding financial firms, receiving regulatory approvals. If these things were easy to do, then we wouldn't have this opportunity that we do when investing in Abaxx right now. An exchange business model like this is so profitable and in such high demand from institutional investors because it is so hard to do. So, like I said, if you're invested in Abaxx now, you've essentially given up, at least until the exchange is actually launched, that the company will hit any strict deadlines. Buying into Abaxx now is about the team running this operation, the long-term vision of the company, far beyond just the commodities exchange. But we'll get into that later on in the video. If you haven't looked at Abaxx's new slide deck, I highly recommend that you do, and I'll link it in the description. But right here is the slide that everyone should focus on in this presentation. It's the most important one, in my view. This is the prior experience of the management team at Abaxx Singapore, which is the subsidiary of Abaxx Technologies operating the exchange. Now, how do I know that progress will be made and that the company will make favorable deals in the best interest of shareholders? Well, there's two reasons for that. One being this team has essentially been there, done that. They've launched financial products, futures exchanges, and worked on clearinghouses in many different formats. The NYMEX, the Hong Kong Mercantile Exchange, the Dubai Mercantile Exchange, and others. The second reason is that this management team consists of shareholders with significant skin in the game. He's not listed here, but Josh Crumb owns 15% of the stock himself, and that is a man with a financial incentive to see the company reach commercial success. I can sleep easy at night with 50% of my portfolio in this stock, knowing that this management team is dedicated to seeing the share price rise, just as much as I am. But yes, the company has seen multiple delays. Launching a new commodity exchange is a complicated process, quite frankly. There's a reason why the large exchange groups like CME and ICE have shifted their focus to financial products over physical settlement. They're easier to launch, profit margins are even higher because you don't need to set up the additional infrastructure. But this market approach doesn't work anymore, and that's creating opportunities for us. We have to remind ourselves why we're invested in this company. Staying grounded and remembering what this company's potential is, far beyond the commodity exchange itself. The exchange is a large piece of the puzzle, but this is just the beginning of the vision that Abaxx has for the future of financial and commodity markets. For starters, these are the total addressable markets in 2030, the sectors Abaxx is initially targeting. And a key difference here between Abaxx and other companies is that any company can throw up a large total addressable market on a slide deck, and it would be largely meaningless, especially for most microcaps. But in the case of a new commodity exchange, these are important numbers to understand due to market effects. Because of the network effects and the nature of liquidity in futures contracts, these are largely winner-takes-all markets, meaning whoever has the benchmark contract will see the majority of the trading activity. So it is possible for Abaxx to capture 50, 60, 70% of the market share. And given how the carbon credit market shakeout is unknown at this point, and gold is already dominated by incumbent players, I'd focus more on the potential for LNG and nickel, given the LME has royally screwed up its position as a dominant futures contract provider in the metal space. But all this is just for the exchange, and Abaxx is certainly looking to revolutionize the financial industry. Trusted digital identity with ID++, decentralized finance, and blockchain technology, especially digitizing title to physical collateral and tracking emissions or commodity specifications. The company is focused on launching the exchange as its top priority right now, but Josh Crum is certainly looking to disrupt the current financial landscape. And the exchange is the company's ticket to doing just that. As they sign up industry participants and expose them to new technology, this is an easy way to bring on clients to these products and to change how these markets operate, the Abaxx at the center of it all. If you want to make 10x, 20x, 50x your money on a stock, then you have to find companies like Abaxx, companies that are disrupting the status quo. Many times a company that is at the center of a massive shift in what is considered a slow growth industry. And most importantly, you have to be willing to wait and let management execute. I know many of you have been waiting for the exchange launch for a long time, and I've been as well. I've been holding Abaxx since the fall of 2021 when they got their approval in principle. But I think the wait will be worth it in the end. Of course, that's not financial advice. But if you want a more expansive refresher on Abaxx's vision, I'll put a link to this video I made on just that in the description. A compilation of media clips from interviews discussing the company's long-term goals. But yeah, hold in there, guys. And I think good things should be coming pretty soon for us here. Thanks for watching.